Thank you for watching. This is my grand finale of my video series of me responding to Catholics, clarifying misconceptions people have about Catholicism. I still might, I'm debating about going to a Catholic church near me and seeing if there's a Catholic priest who would like to be a part of this video series, see if he thinks there are some misconceptions that he should clear up. And I think I will try to find written, blogs, essays on the internet where Catholics have clarified misconceptions. But this is the grand finale of me responding to videos. Allie Marie Ingram made a video about evolution and clarifying misconceptions people have about Catholicism and evolution. And I did not have any of these misconceptions about Catholicism, maybe because of previous videos I've watched that touch on this subject. So here's what she said, here are my thoughts. She pointed out, who can say how we got here? I know who can, our Creator. She gave a definition of creationism as believing the account in Genesis of God creating things. And she called that an extreme position. Really? I don't think that's worthy to be called an extreme position. It's a Bible-believing position. And let's see. Yeah. There are people who are members of my church who, apparently like Allie Marie, have two religions. Catholicism and evolutionism. Or Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints and evolutionism. So, Catholics discouraged. Alright, see, Catholics don't agree. Okay, Catholics do believe in evolutionism, according to her. They just don't agree with the taking God out of the picture. But the religion of evolutionism has a complete story. You're finally going to eat your breakfast? Can you eat on the back porch so you make less noise? Get on the back porch so you make less noise in the middle of me making a video, alright? Alright. She is so cute. Alright. Now, cute, but she doesn't cooperate with my video schedule all the time. Of course, I'm talking about my son's hound. Not that I'm accusing Allie Marie of being ugly, and I'm clarifying who I'm calling cute with that comment. Okay, she said that evolution is plausible and Catholics believe it because Catholics accept truth. Okay. And here are my thoughts about that. Evolutionism is a religious belief. It's a religion. And I'm confused and a little bit annoyed. Confused with people who want to try to be fence sitters. Now, somebody's probably yelling at their television, well, or computer, their device they're using to watch this. What? It's not a religion, it's science. Any belief that has to stay in the textbooks because of corrupt judges forcing it is a religion. Any belief that nobody has ever seen happen, that's a religion. Any belief that hangs on despite evidence stacking up against it, that's a religion. What are some examples of evidence stacking up against evolution? Well, we now know more about deoxyribonucleic acid that's in our cells and how complex our cells are. And um, it's just, now we can, there's no way for an honest person to say they scientifically can believe that genetic mutations can build whole new body systems that are needed to go from Luca, an imaginary creature that never existed, the last universal common ancestor, the single cell organism, to everything we have in the world. And, you know, cute. Okay, need to go out now? Okay. If evolution is more scientific, like the Earth being around and us being in a solar system and going around the sun, they would just prove it, like those scientific facts have been proven. Alright, yeah, finding one little fragment of bone makes evolutionists, throw everything out and, like, rechanges everything. That's why it's not science, but, engineering, physics, to some degree, chemistry, those are sciences, and we know about those things because of science. The old textbooks for subjects that are actually sciences can still be used. Now, like an electronics textbooks might have better information, but the old stuff is not useless. Gregor Mendel, he did not do anything with evolutionism. He engaged in real science, found out real biology, and what he found out is still fact. His studies are good and belong in scientific textbooks. We now know more about why and how the facts that he found are, but the things he discovered are scientific facts. Let's see, but if you look at a 100-year-old evolution textbook, or the evolutionary parts of an old textbook, there's a mixture in many textbooks of real science and, or not just textbooks, but many books have a mixture of real science and the religion of evolutionism. But if you can separate the evolutionism in an old book from the real science, the evolutionary parts of the old books are, they're not the things that are being said right now by evolutionists. And let's get my son's hound back in. She might be done being outside. Cute. You can come in if you want. Cute. A little bit faster. I'm making a video. Cute. Okay, so we found out that Allie Marie and I have something in common. Having pets that are canines that will never give birth to anything that's not a canine. Well, my son's hound is fixed, but if she hadn't been fixed, we would definitely not get a whale out of her. We would get a canine. So, Allie Marie said, but why are people different? So she is saying that evolutionism is true, so we are also evolved from the Luca, an imaginary thing that never has existed. But there's some difference between people and animals, especially for religions. A religious person, a Christian person, would definitely teach that. So how does she explain those differences? She said humans have a soul and animals don't. Okay, well, here we have a difference. What makes the animal be dead then? When, at the moment an animal dies, all of the proteins, sugars, the fats, the triglycerides, the deoxyribonucleic acid, the epigenetics, they are all there when an animal dies. And the same for a human. So, how do you say they don't have a soul? That's what death is when it leaves. The spirit leaves. That's death. So I disagree with her about that. She made a comparison between training a child. When a child is really small, we deal with them a lot like we deal with our dogs. We don't have a deep theological or deep, intelligent, big word conversation with our child. And much the same, we don't do that with our dogs. We just pick the dog up and put it where it needs to be if the dog is having a fit, like we do with a 1-year-old that won't do what we tell the 1-year-old to do. Well, she just disproved her idea about people having a soul then, didn't she? It looks to me like she did. She made a hypothetical scenario where bears find out people like pizza and then set up a trap to catch people, and that proves that bears don't have a soul because bears aren't doing that setting of a pizza trap for people. There are actually animals that do set traps, though. Man, there are animals that do some very well thought out farming and husbandry and cooperation and planning for attacks. So I don't see how you can honestly say that animals do not do amazing things, show amazing intelligence and planning, and thus they don't have a soul. Bears only attack people when they attack people because of an instinct, not because they set a trap for us. Now maybe some animals don't show very deep thought into things and planning, but some animals definitely do exhibit great planning. God had his hand, she says, and any Christian who says that evolution is false has not submitted to what the Catholic Church teaches, or is not following the Catholic Church. And the Catholic Church believes science. Okay, yeah, I'm not Catholic. There's some things they're right about and some things they're wrong about. Believes science. She's committing, it seems to me, the logical fallacy of equivocation. We all agree about this one fact. We use this one word to describe this fact, and then use the same word to describe something else. There's virtually no Christian in the world today who denies electricity, physics, the chemistry, the making of plastics, and there's a little bit of them that are denying modern medicine, but most don't even deny modern medical advancements, knowing which medicines to help the body. So, not believing the religion of evolutionism does not mean that you have to automatically believe, not believing the religion of evolutionism does not mean you're not believing actual scientific discoveries and breakthroughs and living in a cave, clubbing your girlfriend over the head and dragging her into the cave. And she cited a book she was reading that was quotes of Christians before 325, and one of them said that if you see a sailboat coming into a harbor, you can assume there's a pilot. She extended an analogy to an airplane. I'm sure the guy 300-something BC didn't say airplane. And so, why not do that with evolution? We see it. Here's why. Because there is no pilot in evolution. Evolutionism already has a complete story without God doing it. And if you're accusing God of being using evolution you're accusing him of not actually doing it, because that's not doing it. That's, natural. A better metaphor would be if you see a log flowing with the current of the water into a harbor, that there's not a, intelligence behind that log. It's just going with the flow. Because evolutionism says that everything came about by natural processes. It's the complete story, natural processes. She talked about seeing herself grow and evolve. Okay, equivocation fallacy. We all change and grow, but that's got absolutely nothing to do with whales having an ancestor that was not a whale. It was whales having an ancestor that was a cow or a wolf. That's got absolutely nothing to do with whales, squid, mountain goats, snakes, lizards, frogs, pine trees, oak trees, bushes, grasses, fungus, moss, having a common ancestor. Alright, now, got enough. Let's try to squeeze one more video in. Let's see, I started at 37. With 36 minutes left on my memory card. 37 plus 36 gets us, okay, 10:13. I've got until 10:13. Let's plan on stopping at 10:12 in case alright. Now, Ellie Marie Ingram responded to somebody who asked her, do you even read the Bible? Her answer is yes. She was raised Protestant. She held up her old Protestant Bible. She said as a former Protestant, many former Protestants know Catholicism very well, and that when she was converting to Catholicism or a new Catholic, she would see things in the Bible that she didn't see before when she was reading it as a Protestant, and make connections. Like the manna being the body and blood of Christ. Manna, body and blood of Christ? Did she mean literally or symbolically? That's an important question, because Catholics believe when they eat a wafer, a cracker, they call it host, and drink some wine, that it is literally the body and blood of Jesus Christ. Not symbolically. But I've never seen any verse in the Bible to hint at manna being literally Jesus Christ. Symbolically, yeah. I can see some symbolism between Jesus Christ and the manna, but not literal. Okay, she asked, do you know where the Bible came from? She said it was the Nicene Council in 396 AD. And that at that council, Saint Ignatius, why did I write an A there? I should have written it with an I. Saint Ignatius said that the office of bishop was confirmed there, was created there. And I thought bishop was an old local biblical leader. Oh, shame on me. Let's see. There's a need for a bishop to have one person representing Christ at the Eucharist, correspondence with other churches, and a representation of Christ at gatherings. That shocked me. Representation of Christ? I don't look at God's true and living prophet, who in a few days we're going to get to hear from again, as a representation of Christ. He's Christ's tool to get me his word. He's my leader that Jesus Christ picked to lead me, but not a representation. Anyway, keep going now with the quote. A single source for unity and authority due to the Gnostics, and a guarantor of oral tradition. Okay, oral tradition. I'm not a big fan of oral traditions, because how can you make sure we got everything right if we can't go back and look at a book? The bishop can give us certain answers about things like, where's Elizabeth's house and other geography? She pointed out that Gospels are more for conversion than for historical accuracy. I especially like her saying more for conversion, but I do think the Gospel writers were trying to be historically accurate. And I give them more credit for being historically accurate than Allie Marie does, apparently. Allie Marie. Some of the inaccuracies are corrected by Joseph Smith's translation corrections. Thank God we have prophets in our day that can clarify things. She pointed out that the New Testament, the books for the New Testament were picked at about 380 to 390 AD. And she held up a Bible, and she said she got her Bible. And the Old Testament's coming soon, she's not claiming that the Bible's brand new, but a translation, or a commentary, or one of the two, or a Bible with footnotes by Scott Hahn and others. Scott Hahn, she pointed out, is a former Protestant who was not just a Protestant, he was an anti-Catholic. He would go out there and try to convince the Catholics they were wrong. Now he is a Catholic scholar. And side note here, Scott Hahn, I find him very interesting to listen to. He's got some things very well explained that are common ground between the truth and Catholicism, or the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints and Catholicism. She pointed out that the Bible is read at Mass, so I was not under the misconception that Catholics don't read the Bible. They just... I do think there are some verses that disprove Catholicism. There are some verses that disprove Protestantism. There are some verses that I understand how people can look at them and think they disprove the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, but they don't actually. There are some verses that don't actually say anything against the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints that our antagonists are really eager to point to. Let's see. Bible's read at Mass. So now you buttheads that thought that Catholics don't read the Bible. No, they read it at Mass. There's a quote from the Bible that they say right before they take the host at the Eucharist. Many Catholics... Let's see. Yeah. Oh, and she pointed out in Scott Hahn's writings you can find many quotes from the Bible. Yes, you can. And she pointed out many Catholics don't read the Bible. They fall away and then read the Bible for the first time, and they hear from a non-Catholic perspective why the Catholic Church is wrong because of this or that Bible verse. But they don't ask how the Catholic Church looks at those verses. Yeah, you know what, I have to sympathize with that comment. Maybe some of the ex-Catholics out there in the world would not have ended up leaving the Catholic Church if they would have tried to find out how the Catholic Church looks at certain verses. Maybe some of them would have. The ones who have left the Catholic Church to be members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, I'm sure they would have still left the Catholic Church because they have found the Messiah and they were trying to follow him. Let's see. She accused some Protestants of not allowing their history to go past the 1500s. Yeah, I think that's a weak argument. She said, without the Catholic Church picking which books to be in the New Testament, then we would have the Gospel of Judas in there. And that book is apparently very bad. Off the top of my head, I don't remember if I've ever read that Gospel. But, man, maybe the Catholic Church did do some good picking there. My religion does not teach me that the Catholic Church is, pure evil and the devil, and so there could have been some inspiration involved in which books ended up in the Bible. The Catholic Church has definitely preserved some of the wonderful writings and sayings of Jesus and the early apostles. Thank you, Catholic Church, for that. She said the Bible is a Catholic book. That was the last point she made. I think she's overstating the case when she says the Bible is a Catholic book. The Catholic Church picked which books are in the Bible. And so that's definitely a reason for some Bible-only Protestants to... It's a good argument against Bible-only Protestants. But every single book in the Bible was written before 100 AD, or really close to 100 AD, not 396 many years later. So, see the disconnect of years there? That's why I don't think she should so boldly say, or I disagree that the Catholic Church is, that the Bible is a Catholic book. It's unique to Catholicism, or it comes directly from the Catholic Church. The Catholic Church picked up the pieces of a broken church that Jesus Christ founded and tried to do some good with it. And saved some of those pieces for us, but my understanding is they're not it. Thanks for joining me on this quest so that we do not misunderstand Catholicism. Allie Marie Ingram thoroughly disproved the less effective people saying that Catholics do not read or care about or love or study the Bible. And have a good day.